There we go. So, hi, this is Radiance Thompson. We're talking about how you can start debunking imposter syndrome so you can shift from invisible to irresistible to your soulmate clients. And this is for you if you are a coach, creator, a business owner that wants to be seen as an expert in your field and you're amazing at what you do. Yet you don't feel like you're seen as the obvious choice to work with in your field yet, because when it comes to being seen and when it comes to having more eyes on you and when it comes to having more visibility, you feel a weight on your body. Perhaps you even second guess if you're worthy of being seen as a leader in your field. You may second guess your ideas. You may Sorry about that, my daughter. You may second guess your ideas. You may second guess if your ideas are going to be perceived or received well. You may delay hitting the post button, and you have a slew of unpublished posts, perhaps in your Google Drive, because you're hesitant once again to post them because you're wondering how people will see you. You may even doom scroll on TikTok until 3 a.m. instead of working on the project you said you'd work on yesterday. And you're done wasting time. You're done watching people with less qualifications than you get to have more visibility and be seen as experts in your field. And you're ready to overcome your fears of being seen so you can get to your next level faster. So today we're going to be talking about how to upgrade your energetic blueprint so you can feel safe being seen and having more visibility. And again, get to your next level faster. So, imposter syndrome, number one, is not humility. Okay, humility and confidence can actually coexist. Often we've been taught that humility means making ourselves small. And Eckhart Tolle says that where there is no unhealthy ego, humility and confidence can actually coexist. So you are allowed to actually be humble and confident simultaneously. So imposter syndrome is actually self-sabotage dressed up as virtue, and it's robbing the world of seeing your gifts now. And it makes you question if you're qualified, it makes you wonder if you're a fraud, and it makes you dim your light while questioning if maybe you should be more humble, maybe you should make yourself small. And it's because you have an inner critic that is convincing you that you don't belong. And that is so not true. You absolutely belong in the spotlight. You deserve to be seen for your gifts. And the emotional consequences of having your inner critic tell you that you don't belong is you start operating at half of your potential. And your brilliant ideas start to literally die in your head because they're not being used. And you watch less qualified people than you build their empires. Ooh, I don't speak English, but thank you very much. You watch less qualified people than you build their empires because they have the audacity to own their expertise while you hide behind the notion of not being ready yet. And the regret of wasted potential is suffocating your soul. So, if you think that you need more credentials to be more confident, if you think that by having those credentials and qualifications, you're going to think your way into being more worthy of being seen for your gifts, that's not going to work. Because you have to heal your way into knowing that you are more worthy of being seen for your gifts. Because imposter syndrome isn't about lacking skills, it isn't about lacking expertise. It's about having unhealed visibility wounds that make owning your power feel unsafe. And the doing more won't equate to being more, even though it makes us feel that way at first. And this doesn't mean that as a coach, creator, or business owner that you're not going to over deliver for your clients. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't put an extra shine on your products so that way your services are seen as luxury or just highly valuable. It means that you're no longer trying to seek approval by doing more. It means that you aren't gatekeeping your own worthiness of being seen with how much you're doing. And perhaps creating an expectation within yourself with your doing and the amount of being that you're capable of achieving. That's what it means. It means you're no longer doing that. Because the problem with imposter syndrome is that you position yourself as less qualified, and less qualified in comparison to your competition, less qualified in comparison to the opportunity that's being presented to you, less qualified to whatever the situation is that you're comparing yourself to. And the problem with that is that you're already putting yourself as less than that person, that thing, that opportunity. And in positioning that thing as more than you and positioning yourself as less, this plays into you thinking and believing and operating like you're small, like you're less, like you're not enough. And according to Eckhart Tolle, and I agree with this, the ego will create two perspectives within you when it comes to a given situation, when it comes to a given person, when it comes to an opportunity. And if you're already positioning yourself as less, if you're already saying this person, this thing, this situation, this opportunity is more than me, then you're going to unconsciously play out that role as being less. You're going to unconsciously position yourself as less when it comes to advocating for yourself, when it comes to being seen by more people, when it comes to having more people have more eyes on you, and you needing to have that confidence and that radiance within yourself to say, hey, I do belong here. I do have gifts to share. I do have a message to share. I do have a book to share. I do have a post to share. And if you keep on playing that role of being less, that energy pollutes your energetic blueprint. It's going to cause people to immediately position you as less because they see you positioning yourself as less. And then you start saying, okay, well, they already see me as not enough. So why would I even go after this opportunity? Why would I even position myself to be rejected? So it causes you to reject yourself. And because you keep telling yourself this, and because you keep putting that role in your head of someone being above you, it manifests into your reality, where you continue to play out that subordinate, that lesser role. And that's not what you want, especially when it comes to being seen for your gifts. You want to be seen as an expert. You want to be seen as the obvious choice. You want to be seen as the person that people are immediately drawn to because you have this magnetic presence that's almost alluring to your soulmate clients and to opportunities that you would be excited to wake up to, right? Where you're just like moving the sheet off of you when you wake up and you're like, okay, let me jumpstart my day. That's what you want. And if you already put in your head that you're not enough, that you're less, that something's above you, if you already put that perspective in your head, you're going to unconsciously fill that role and act as if you're not enough. That's the energy that's coming off of your energy field. So when that happens to you, that creates gaps in your energy. And what do I mean by that? So you already have wholeness available to you. You already have an essence that is uniquely yours. But when you don't trust yourself to be seen, when you don't trust that you have something to give to the world, when you don't trust in the gifts that you already have, and you're saying, okay, I'm not enough, what that does is it causes you to have a collapsed energy field. Your blueprint literally starts to be a repellent instead of an attractant to what you want. So you have gaps. You start to feel like, okay, there's something I'm not doing. There's something that I'm not enough of. There's something else I need to be doing to compensate for this feeling of lack. So you create gaps in your energy field. And in doing that, that's when you start to reach for the next thing. That's when you start to reach for the new strategy. That's when you start to reach for the next coach. Even though you already probably worked with someone that was brilliant at what they did. They gave you all of the spreadsheets, the worksheets. They gave you like the courses. They gave you a clear outline on what to do. You won't trust it. So you'll start looking for the next thing, the next secret sauce. And you'll do those things and it'll feel good temporarily, but it still leaves that gaping hole where you're looking for something to fill in that void because you think that what you're doing is already not enough. You're already thinking that. And that's how you start to behave as well. So what you want to do is, number one, you're going to start realizing that appeasing others and putting yourself in these people-pleasing positions where you're overdoing, overcompensating, over-explaining, you're going to start realizing that this is exhausting. That constantly being in state of humility is exhausting. Because at some point, you're going to have to learn that it's okay to pop your shit and show off your gifts. And you're going to start realizing that there's something within you that it's not that you're not doing enough because you're going to be working your ass off. You're going to start realizing that there's something within you that's propelling exactly what you want to achieve in your life right now. And when you realize that it's you and that you want to start attracting more opportunities to fill your heart with joy, and number one, and number two, to be seen for your gifts, you're going to want to start doing that. When you start to realize that the money isn't happening, the opportunities aren't happening, the clients aren't happening, you're going to start saying, okay, there has to be something within me. There's some sort of block, there's some sort of perspective shift, there's some sort of something within me that just simply isn't working. And you're going to start wanting to attract more opportunities, more people, more money-making opportunities, more soul nourishing experiences. My coach, she every time I say that, it reminds me of her, because she actually feels a certain way about soul nourishing, but I love that phrase. So that being said, overall, it's about you overcoming your fears of being seen. And that's where I come in. So you can start feeling safe, being seen, and doing the work that you need to do to get to your next level faster without feeling like there's something inherently wrong with you, that you're not enough as you are. And this is how you start to embody the identity that allows you to become irresistible, and you get out of being invisible because you're no longer polluting your energy field with imposter syndrome. So when you work with me, we will upgrade your energetic blueprint so you can become magnetic to the people you're excited to hop on Zoom calls with. And so you can start attracting opportunities to you where you're excited and you wake up out of bed and you're just like, okay, let's get my day started. Let me get my 10 minutes of coffee in. Let me have my moment to myself, and I'm ready to kickstart my day. And when you start creating that magnetic presence by healing the visibility wounds that make you second guess if you're worthy of being seen, that make you wonder if you're enough, that feed into that imposter syndrome narrative, when you start healing those visibility wounds, what's going to happen is you'll start magnetizing more of those people that you genuinely want to work with and that will pay you. And you'll start having more opportunities. You start having email notifications from opportunities that, perhaps you applied for months or weeks ago. Or perhaps they're just seeking you out because you have a strong magnetic presence that just says, hey, this is the person that I know I need to work with for this thing that I have. And when you start getting those notifications, less stress in your body. Less of that weight on your chest, less of that weight in your shoulders, less of that, oh my gosh, when's the next thing coming in? And when you start having that constant, that flow, you're no longer in friction, forcing something to happen. You have that flow. You start to have more time to be present with your family, more time to be present at dinner instead of worrying about when's the next thing coming in. And you can have slower, more intentional mornings with your kids. For me, I love to just be able to wake up in the morning, take them to school, have their breakfast ready, have my 10 minutes of coffee to myself, have that just slow, intentional morning where I can do my morning routine without having to force myself to do something or be somewhere I don't want to be. And when you have that peace of mind, you can just savor the moments. And this happens when you start to heal your visibility wounds so you can position yourself as the go-to expert and obvious choice and stop hiding your gifts because of fears of not being enough and because you're unintentionally feeding an imposter syndrome narrative. So if you're a coach, creator, or business owner that wants to feel safe being seen and create a strong magnetic presence so you can upgrade your energetic blueprint and attract soulmate clients and soul aligned opportunities to you, because you position yourself as the go-to expert in your field, and those opportunities and people start coming to you effortlessly, reach out to work with me one-on-one. And I also want you to know that you're not alone in feeling this way. You're not alone in having experienced imposter syndrome. I have been there too. At one point, I thought positioning myself as less was a form of protection when it was actually preventing me from my destiny. I would get certification after certification. I learned this new thing and that new thing. I put myself in a position where I always felt like someone else knew more than me, was in a position above me. And because I had already positioned myself as less, that's how they treated me. That's how they received me. And I know how that feels. And I don't want you to continue to go through that if you're already in that cycle, or I don't want you to enter that cycle and go through that, because it's not easy and it wastes your time that you could be using to gain more opportunities and position yourself to be seen so you can get to your next level faster. And right now we're in a state of the world where wasting time and not betting on ourselves is not an option. So what I want you to do, and something that I've had to learn to do, is to learn how to own my expertise and the state of where I'm at without having to be like, okay, well, I should be here, I should be there, comparing myself to how far or how fast I'm going on my journey. Like, just stop doing that if you can, or at least recognize when you are, catch yourself, because it's this moment on your path that can be the difference in you moving at a snail's pace toward your goals and accomplishing your goals faster, and moving at light speed where your goals are already here, where your goals have already been achieved. And when you start seeing that healing your fears of being seen positions you as the go-to expert in your field. So when you work with me one-on-one, we'll shift your identity from someone who hopes they're qualified to someone who knows they belong in the spotlight. We'll heal the wounds that make owning your expertise feel dangerous and build unshakable trust in your gifts. So I want you to imagine stepping forward with the I'm the expert narrative playing in your head, instead of hiding behind maybe I know something, maybe this will help, maybe this will position me as someone that they'll listen to. No more wobbling with the beliefs and the maybes. It's certainty. It's knowing that you will learn to embody when it comes to your identity. And I want you to see yourself, after working with me, commanding respect for your expertise without crushing yourself with self-doubt, and without wondering and questioning if you're worthy of being seen and worthy of receiving the recognition that you deserve. Because every day that you doubt your expertise is another day someone less qualified than you builds their empire and takes your market share with the customers and clients that you could be serving right now. So I wanted to leave you with this, because your gifts are not meant to be hidden. They're meant to change lives, and the world needs what you have right now. You are not an imposter. You're someone whose gifts haven't been fully witnessed yet. And healing those visibility wounds is the cure for imposter syndrome. Getting more visible is the cure for imposter syndrome. So I want you to send me a message if you're ready to overcome your fears of being seen, so you can work together with me one-on-one, and know that you deserve to be seen in the spotlight.